it seems like we're watching the mainstream media finally die in front of us. I think this signals desperation. Now, you're a smart, savvy guy. Do you disagree with me?
I think it's all manufactured. I think everything on television these days is manufactured. And after, Alex, I was at the DNC with some of your crew last week in Philadelphia, and I saw things that nobody else saw. I saw thousands and thousands of people angry. It was like the World War Z movie with Brad Pitt. They were climbing over each other to try to get over the fence, the perimeter fence that they created. So I turned on Fox, MSNBC, CNN. I didn't see that. I saw a gobbledygook speeches inside the convention.
They told us there was total unity, just loving.
No, there was no unity, and we don't see those images on television. So everyone you see, everything you see, they're paid consultants, paid to give their positions. You're not seeing the reality. And frankly, the media is obviously trying to create this narrative against Trump. We knew that they would do that. But on the ground, when I talk to black protesters, I talk to Bernie people who are more angry and more hateful towards Hillary Clinton than any Republican or Trump supporter I know. I was thrown to the ground, as you're looking now. One of these guys attacked me, started screaming, "Hillary stole the election," is what he said. And many people were angry at me. I was dressed up like a Hillary supporter.
You have a lot of courage, buddy.
They were so angry, more angry than any Republican I've ever talked to.
I can't find Hillary supporters unless I go to the richest areas of Austin. Hillary really looks like she's degenerating. What do you think's really going on here?
I think that the media is trying to do their best to elect Hillary and create these large narratives that Trump is in trouble and so forth and so on. I do think, people ask me, who do you think's going to win? I think it's a 50-50 chance because the Clintons are sort of diabolical, and I have evidence of voter fraud. But I think that people around the country are really upset. And the most powerful thing we exposed in Philadelphia, I don't know if you have this clip handy, were African-American protesters screaming at the top of their lungs. The Democrats have done nothing to help them in the inner cities. The actual quote was, "Have you seen the poverty in Philadelphia? Have you seen the homelessness? That's why we want to leave the Democratic Party." So I said undercover, and my colleague said, there he is right there. I don't know if you have the sound from that, but we said to him, what about the fact the first female president breaking the glass ceiling? He says, "To hell with the glass ceiling. I'm trying to put food in the refrigerator." This is a very powerful clip. So people are angry. You don't see that on television. I don't know why you don't see it, but the corporate media won't report that, but we will.
We're queuing that clip up right now, but these are some of the viral videos that InfoWars shot with Project Veritas, and there's so many others where you do expose election fraud, all of it. I'm really heartened because they're being forced out in the open. They're being forced to steal primaries. They're being forced to try to steal the general election. They're lying and saying Trump's dropped out when he hasn't. I mean, they are engaged really in panic mode, I think. So I think down the road, time is running out for these people. I'm very confident.
Yeah, the whole media narrative you're seeing on television, where they're creating narratives that he's in trouble, he's going to drop out, and so it's all crap peddled by the political consulting marketing industry and paid consultants. It doesn't mean anything. And most people I've found, Alex, I don't know if your reporters have found the same thing in the country. People are so angry at the system, they don't even believe it anymore.
That's what I'm saying. And I think them getting even more arrogant and more deceptive is going to backfire because, look, people know she stole this from Bernie, and they know they're trying to steal it now. And Trump is saying that, and they seem to be in total panic mode. Let's play the clip that Mr. Veritas was talking about. Here it is.
3 reasons why I, a black man, should vote for him. 3 reasons. Get me over.
You want to break the glass ceiling?
What the hell is a glass ceiling to me? I'm trying to put food in refrigerators. Tell me 3 reasons. She's a woman. My mama's a woman. My daughter's a woman. Give me 3 reasons why I should vote for him.
First female president.
Who gives a damn about the first female president? What about the food?
We want to make history.
History. We're making history right now.
Every day we're making history.
I just don't understand why you don't.
There you go. I don't care about a glass ceiling. I care about food. What about the woman in my life?
That's right. And Alex, I mean, the power of that clip, if that was said by a Republican or someone protesting a Republican, that'd be played on every single television station over and over and over again to create a narrative. And one thing Andrew Breitbart taught me is it's all about the media. It's all about the narratives. And that flies in the face of every single narrative that's out there. He said, that same man, who's actually part of the Bernie movement, he said that young black men are leaving the Democratic Party. And Hillary depends on those folks to win. And he said, we will never vote for her. And if there was any justice in the media, they'd be playing footage like that. And they'd have a narrative on the front page of the New York Times that said, is Hillary losing black supporters? So we're bringing this footage to you. You guys were with us in Philadelphia. Your cameraman was next to me as I was thrown to the ground filming it. So they're not going to report this. But Alex, that clip was viewed 1 million times on Facebook, millions of views on YouTube. So we're doing our job to get the message out.
Absolutely. CNN average show has 200,000 viewers, MSNBC a couple 100,000. So they can have big, fancy $50 million sets. It doesn't matter because we actually have the audience. So we've reached that paradox moment where they're lying, they're doubling down, they're totally going Soviet style and beyond. But the Soviets could get away with it for a while because there was no counterbalance. Don't they understand there's a major counterbalance, James O'Keefe?
Yeah, they understand it, which is why that they're throwing everything on television constantly over and over again. Trump's in trouble, Trump's in trouble, Trump's in trouble, because they have to create this corporate echo chamber on all the big TV stations to counteract the popularity of the grassroots. So you're literally seeing right now the powers dynamics are shifting. I wrote about this when the shootings happened and people were filming it. The power dynamics are changing and it's making them very upset. And if there's one thing I learned from being in Philadelphia at the DNC is the sheer shock of seeing the thousands of protesters piled like zombies trying to get over the fence and looking at the TV screens inside of those lobbies in the hotels thinking that's not what I'm seeing outside. So there's a power shift happening. I've been around long enough for 7 years doing this to know that everything I see on TV, I mean, it's all just gobbledygook, identity politics crap. And we have to get the images in front of people, make them trend on social media or on your website. That's the only way that we're gonna because
exactly. And it's not like we're cherry picking quote minorities for Trump or minorities against Hillary. That's all we see at rallies I have or events. That's all we see. And then we tune in CNN. It's like a whole nother planet where they've got 20 reporters out cherry picking to put together this lie. But what do they do when almost everyone I talk to, quite frankly, I think Sanders was as popular as Trump, and which is, wrong message, but he was right about some of the problems, a lot better than Hillary. But so I mean, Sanders is popular, Trump's popular. I'm not finding the Hillary people. Like I said, I mean, I don't know what her real numbers are, but no wonder Reuters has to oversample Democrats in polls. And I mean, because they're trying to prop the facade up. It's so incredible. In fact,
when we walked through the protest, the video you played a week ago, that this was a California Hillary delegate saying we need to ban all guns, but call it common sense gun legislation. This is a direct quote. She said, if you just say S-H-I-T like that, people will buy into it. That is what Mary Bayer said. So I walked through the Bernie crowd, Alex, with that little video you're watching, a placard of her face and her quote. I got high fives from the Bernie people.
Which shows they're watching your show, they're watching mine, which shows we are unifying the people just under common sense.
Yes, that's exactly right. People agree on 80% of the issues. This identity politics gobbledygook is all just a ploy to divide the people. Bernie people were friendly to the idea of someone lying and saying they want to ban all guns. They were friendly. All the protesters, no one was negative to me when I was.
And by the way, the Sanders people are well-spoken compared to Hillary supporters.
Yes, and they were all very supportive. They said, we need to expose the fraud and the lies and the deceit and the black people being taken advantage of in the inner cities. And they're trying to ban guns and call it something else. It's when I dressed up like a Hillary supporter and walked through there that they threw me to the ground and screamed in my face, you stole the election. So we are more united than we think. Those people don't have a voice on television, but they have a voice with people like you and people like Veritas and YouTube and Facebook, as long as Facebook doesn't censor people like they did Milo Yiannopoulos, but we're looking into that too.
Well, in the time we've got left here, talking about Matt Drudge, Drudge came here it was like 10, 11 months ago, and he said, look, I got approached Supreme Court justice. They said next year they're going after the free speech. We now see it happening in Europe, happening here. But I think it's going to only make people value free speech even more. But clearly, if they can try to boycott and bring down Limbaugh, which they failed. I thought Limbaugh's perfect. I'm not either. But folks, they get Limbaugh, they get everybody else. If they can shut down Drudge with Federal Elections Commission garbage, which I know they've been calling for, and they've said Media Matters has said, go after me too. They've tried to put you in prison. I mean, the point is there really is a war on the press, and anybody who really is for free speech in America better come together because the establishment's making their move.
Matt Drudge is a hero of mine. I love the interview he did with you, and what an honor he did it with you and nobody else.
Absolutely, a big honor.
Huge honor. I'll say this: Veritas is breaking lots of local stories because I think the local politics is where you can make the most change, and that's what we're doing. In the last 24 hours, we exposed voter fraud in Michigan, and instead of relying upon the mainstream press to get a comment from the mayor of Detroit, which is what I usually would do, I went to the mayor's office with a film crew, and the mayor's lawyer said, "Where's your press credentials?" And my response was, "The First Amendment is my press credentials. It doesn't draw any distinction between citizen journalists and the corporate press. And the fact that you asked me for press credentials is the reason why we have this incestuous crap in the media."
And that video is at projectveritas.com. It's very powerful. Let's talk about this.
Yeah, this guy you're looking at right now, this is the mayor of Detroit. This is his legal counselor, Butch Hollowell is his name. He's the chief lawyer for the city of Detroit. He threatened me. And in this video, later in the video, you can hear him saying, "You're an accomplice to a crime, and anybody who publishes your videos is an accomplice to the crime." I said, "Is that NBC News an accomplice to the crime? Is Alex Jones an accomplice to the crime?" I mean, these people are so conceited that they would try to come after me for doing journalism. I said, "Where's your press credentials?" So what's the solution, Alex? The solution is to record him saying that, is to expose the mentality.
To call his bluff.
Call his bluff, put the video out there of what he's saying, and now he's backtracking. He's been on local media all day. You're not going to see these stories on CNN. You're going to see them on YouTube. You're going to hear me talk about it with you. But little by little, what we're doing is we're calling their bluff, holding them accountable for their crap so that they're on defense. That's what we have to do.
Absolutely. I think our greatest asset is the fact that they're so arrogant. I mean, I wonder why. I mean, the more, quote, influence I have, the more concerned I get that I be absolutely accurate and do a good job. With more power comes great responsibility. I think of myself 20 years ago, my gosh, 10 years ago. But I look at these people, the more power they get, the more arrogant they get. And I think that's their greatest weakness.
It is you're absolutely right. You have a great power in your medium, as do I, and a lot of responsibility we have because I get hundreds of people a week say, "James, you got to come to Wichita, Kansas and look at this issue." There's no voice for them. But like you said, it's jujitsu. If this guy, for example, the mayor of Detroit, wants to threaten me with criminal charges for filming a city clerk, then my responsibility now is to tell that part of the story to the American people. And he gets defensive and says, "Oh, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. The people have a right to do journalism." So it's our job to hold them accountable. We just need more people doing this, and that's what will happen. And
absolutely, we're not trying to make them gonzo journalism. They're making themselves the story, acting like thugs.
That's exactly right. They're making us do this until they stop acting like thugs. I call him. I mean, I'll be honest. He's a fascist pig. The fact that he threatened me and threatened anybody in the media to criminalize, asking a clerk a question and filming it. It was a disgrace. And I sat there and I was worried I wasn't getting out of his office yesterday. He said, "Where's your credentials?" And my cameraman's outside. He said, "Well, you better lawyer up." And I thought he was going to have me arrested.
Oh, as if you've got, again, the press is that you've got a venue, you're the people, you're asking questions, period. The First Amendment is it. Well, James O'Keefe, projectveritas.com. I just love seeing how you're getting even more prolific. You've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of auxiliary folks and volunteers around the country. You've got a book that breaks down how to do this. People can contact you. You have written the blueprint on how to successfully counter these people. And I think it will be information warfare that you're involved in that will bring down the New World Order.
Yes, and we're going to keep growing. And thanks, Alex, for putting the videos out. And kudos to your team. I met them. They're phenomenal. You've got great people working for you. So your audience knows they're professional. They're gracious, and they did a phenomenal job getting.
Well, thank you. Well, they were honored to work, beside you because you're one of their rock stars. We got a minute and a half left. What other tidbits would you like to put out to folks? What do you think the next shoe to drop is?
The next shoe from our camp is we have people embedded at the highest levels of the people committing any types of fraud in the country. My focus for the election is people saying something in public and saying something else in private. So anybody running for elected office, not just for president, but for Senate, for governor, we have you on hidden camera saying to your donors and to the American people, saying in private that you disagree with what you say publicly. We're going to release those tapes. We also have videos, as I've hinted at before, voter fraud at the highest levels, but we got to hold on to it, because if I release it right now, it's going to burn our undercover citizen journalists. So we're going to go deeper and deeper, and we're going to expose the extent to which Hillary's folks are going to steal the election, lie, and so forth.
Gee, I love that. You've got moles that are patriots in there. We're getting deeper and deeper, and we've got so many great people, even in government, as you know, that are also doing their duty and getting us the intel of what's happening. Boy, I tell you, the tyrants better be watching it.
They are going to be scared. They are afraid, as evidenced in the recording today from Detroit. You can see the fear. You can smell the fear. My job is to film the fear and make them internet celebrities.
Well, they've awakened the sleeping giant. James O'Keefe, ProjectVeritas.com. We salute you. Thank you so much, sir, for all the exclusives.
Thank you.
Talk show host is Alex Jones. He's a conspiracy theorist.
Radio talk show host Alex Jones.
Alex Jones.
Jones is the wildly popular conspiracy theorist.
Radio talk show host and conspiracy theorist Alex Jones.
Deeply, I think, racist.
I just got called racist by MSNBC.
I don't want that man to have a gun.
1776 will commence again if you try to take our firearms.
The Alex Jones Show. Watch the free stream live at Infowars.com/show.
We have ended the big mega sale, the biggest in our history. Now, we have kept 3 items, though, this week. That's Brain Force, While Supplies Last, the amazing nootropic, for $17.76, normally $29. Leading competitors that have similar formulas are $60 to $70 to $80. So we're already a great deal at that price. It has some ingredients that are controlled or prescription in Europe. That's how powerful it is. Read about it for yourself at InfoWarsLife.com. That's 40% off. DNA Force, our flagship product. It's a big deal to offer 30% off on that. We're extending that. And then Vitamin Mineral Fusion. All the vitamins, all the minerals, the amino acids, the cofactors to help upload it. Great tasting fruit punch. Organically flavored. There's nothing else out there it's like it. It's amazing. It's plant-derived minerals. InfoWarsLife.com. That's 30% off. But I'm going to go further. Boom, here it is. Normally you sign up for auto ship, you get 10% off. You still get that on top of it. I'm doing free shipping on everything. Whether it's one Hillary for Prison shirt or a Bill Clinton rape shirt or whatever it is, whatever informational warfare weapon you want to help spread the word and meet like-minded people, free shipping store-wide. Free shipping store-wide. Again, ladies and gentlemen, you can get 40% off on Brain Force. You can get 30% off on DNA Force. I'm not going to sit here and belabor this. People should really go read and see the hundreds of studies that are there breaking down just what BioPQQ does and why this is such an amazing nutraceutical and why it's so important that folks take it daily, because the compounds in this are just amazing. I mean, you just know they're from God. But I'm not going to get into the science. Go to InfoWarsLife.com. Go there to the page for yourself, and you can check it all out at InfoWarsLife.com. InfoWarsStore.com is the umbrella site, and your purchases make it possible, everything we do here. So I want to thank you all for your support, your prayers, and so much more.
We're not even able to post probably half of the reviews that come in. And the reason why is because if anyone mentions a disease or they got better from a disease, the third-party review sites that we subcontract out to that monitor these reviews, if there's any mention of a disease or anything in there, it can't go up online because of the regulations with the FDA. So please feel free to call in as much as you want. We love hearing about your stories. And this is just DNA Force, but you know, the best thing that I love to do and the best thing I tell people to do is just go online, InfoWarsLife.com, and just read all the reviews.